Good Thursday morning, church. It is good to be gathering this way. It is always such a joy to be watching my phone and see your names and your faces start to pop up on the screen. Even as we can't see each other in person, this is a lovely way to do that. You are not imagining things if you are joining on Thursday morning. I am not Pastor Scott. You are not a day off. Scott and I had a couple of schedule conflicts, so we switched days this week. So it is indeed Thursday. We'll be back to our regular schedule next week with this moment to pause together and reflect on our faith together on Wednesday morning. But for today, it is a Thursday, and it is still a good time to take a deep breath, to pause together, to ask ourselves that question we have been asking from the very beginning, way back in March, which is, where have you seen God in this week and these days behind us? This season feels like it's stretching on quite a while, isn't it? And we have entered into a new month, into this August season, and we're not quite sure exactly what these next weeks and days hold. And I know that for many, they are full of anxiety about what changes are coming up with school years and work schedules and all of that. But it is still good to ask ourselves this question, where have we seen God? And I stumbled upon a practice for myself that I'm going to pick up, a new practice in the month of August for myself, which is asking myself this question, but with the specific question of where have I seen God in other people this week? And so as I'm going to make that a spiritual practice for myself, I thought I would invite us all into that practice together, to share that together in this time and this space. It's a question, I will admit, that at first I thought it was going to be really hard because we don't see people in the same way that we used to several months ago. Our circles feel like they have closed in perhaps a little bit. I know for some of you, who you see in person is pretty limited. It may simply be you. If you are fully at home, it may simply be you and that pet or two. Or it may be your close family that's living with you or a small set of extended family. Or it may be, as the summer has gone along, that maybe you are in connection in person with other small groups of people. But really, our circles have become smaller of necessity. But that may make this question harder to answer. Or at least I thought it might. Now, we also know that we are continuing to be connected in these ways, on Facebook Live and on Facebook and all kinds of ways online and digitally. And that's beautiful too. And yet we also know that that comes with its own challenges. I know many of us struggle in these days to see God in the comment sections on news articles and in the way in which people behave online. So it may seem like this is a hard question to answer. At least that's what I thought. And so then I sat down with my journal and I thought, well, if I'm going to ask this question of others, I need to be able to answer it myself. It's the beauty of sharing a spiritual discipline together. So I started writing and thinking, and I thought, okay, well, I saw God in somebody else yesterday when I helped deliver food for the YMCA, partnering with our school system. They're in the last couple of weeks of delivering food across our city to children and families in need. That has been ongoing since March. And I was honestly, I wasn't planning to be there this day, yesterday, and I was a little annoyed because my schedule had gotten changed. And someone was there who I had never volunteered with before. I didn't know him, and I will admit I was a little leery. I thought, as we started talking about the things that we do in these days of, talked about COVID, and I thought, I don't know where this person stands. But we had a great conversation as we were waiting for the kids to come, and I saw God in that moment. But then, as our kids came, in this particular location, children are walking from their homes nearby to pick up food. And I saw one big brother, clearly probably middle school aged, with his younger siblings come, but there was a lot of food to carry. And one of the younger children came back to grab the last bag of food, and it was bigger than she was. And I watched this sort of gruff older man say, yeah, let me help you with that. He knew her because he had been there at that site multiple times throughout these months. And so he picked that bag up for her and walked her partway home. You know, I saw God in that moment. And then I thought, okay, well, I've got my answer, right? I have an answer to the question, God. And then last night, unexpectedly, that happened again. I was, some of you know that I live with a cat. His name is Ozzy. He is an indoor cat. But occasionally he likes to think he's an outdoor cat. So I walked out to my porch to enjoy the beautiful evening, and out went the cat. And I don't know if any of you have done this, but there is nothing less dignified than your cat running amok around your backyard and you chasing after. So while my cat was toying with me, I noticed that a new neighbor across the street had been watching. And I thought, oh, this is embarrassing. But he came over to say hi. Not someone I had met before. We stood physically distanced apart. And I saw God in the willingness of this person to come say hi to someone they didn't know. It was a brief conversation because there was a language barrier. This person's new to our community, came here for a job, and speaks Spanish. I don't speak much Spanish. He didn't speak much English, but we learned each other's names. And I saw God in his willingness to take a risk, to come talk to me, physically distanced apart. And the joy of the story also was that the moment he started talking to me, my cat decided that that was the right time to decide to want to go inside. So there was a good ending to that story. And then I got to thinking, gosh, all the other places. I thought about the moment earlier in the week when a friend and I were able to talk, even through the barrier of being physically distanced and with a physical barrier between us and with a mask on. But we were still able to connect and reconnect. And I saw God in her willingness to be in that conversation. And then I thought, okay, but those are all in-person contacts, and some of us aren't in a position where we can even have those. So have I seen God in people online? Now that's a harder one, I know. But I have. There are places and ways. And I realize that there are also people I am missing seeing God in, missing that opportunity. So I offer an invitation to us as we enter into this practice together of sharing where we have seen God in other people. I invite you to that practice, to share that with God, to sit down, to write, to journal where you have seen God in other people this week, to share it with somebody else. But also, if you are missing some of those opportunities, to join me on Sunday morning, this next Sunday, we are going to have a chat after church on Zoom, so online, at 11 o'clock, after we worship together online. And it'll simply be an opportunity to meet with people online. We'll break out into a couple small groups. We can do that in Zoom. That's a kind of fun thing. And simply connect, simply share together as a way to give ourselves the opportunity to see God in each other. Details for that will be coming out in the Friday email that many of you get tomorrow. If you're not on our email list or you don't see that email, feel free to reach out and message us or email us at the church, and we will make sure you get that information. For it is really a good and beautiful practice to know that God is with us because God is with us in the presence of other people, whether it is online or in person. And so I offer us this prayer, this morning prayer together today. Holy God, we begin this day with hope, knowing the day can hold love and kindness, forgiveness, and justice. We resolve this day to live life in its fullness, We will welcome the people who will be part of this day. We will greet God in the ordinary and the hidden moments. We will live the life we are living. May we find the wisdom that we need today because God is with us. May we hear the words of those we meet today because God is with us. May we love the life that we are given this day because God is with us. Friends, God is with us and all around us. My prayer for us is that we may meet God in each other in these days ahead. Go in that hope and that prayer. Amen.